Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Sunizam Bigalik. Today I will present my PSM1 thesis. My title is Upper Airways Modeling and Validation of Mandibular, Advancement Surgery Using Variable Airflow and the Effect to the Internal Airflow. Okay, this is the table of content. The first one is introduction, problem statement, my objective, literature review, and methodology. Okay, the introduction. Obstructive sleep apnea is the most common sleep-related breathing disorder. It's because you are to repeatedly stop and start breathing while you are asleep. There are several types of sleep apnea, but the most common is OSA. The type of apnea occurs when your throat muscle intermittently relax and block your airway during sleep. A notable sign of OSA is snoring. Treatment for OSA are available. One treatment involves using a device that uses positive pressure to keep your airways open while you are asleep. Other option is mouthpiece to thrust your lower jaw forward during sleep. In some cases, surgery might be an option too. Upper airways and where? If you can see the picture, I already circle the area by the yellow color. So it is the region between the palate and ear bone, laterally divided from the oral cavity by tonsillar arch. The upper respiratory tract consists of the nose, mouth, sinuses, pharynx, and larynx. Then there is the progression of sleep breathing disorder. So you can see there are normal breathing, snoring, UARS, and OSA. Okay, this is the problem statement. The first one is measurement and simulation of low velocity profile at different sites, and cross section are being compared directly using two upper airways model. The second one is some limitation between measurement and simulation at the interface of main strip and reverse velocity due to the flow complexity. And my objective, the first one is to study the relation of velocity with upper area geometry. Second, to develop validation method for grid sensitivity analysis. The third one is to study the flow mechanism of upper airways. And lastly is to study the impact of airflow velocity variation to the upper airways flow mechanism. Literature review. First one is validation. There are 4 subtopics: experiment setup, PSG, cone beam CT, 3D printing. The second one is CFD. Advancement of study. You can see the fishbone diagram, which is turned to the right and sub-branch reflect the issue, particular reason, and underlying cause. Respectively, they resemble fishbone. The fishbone structure may have as many layers as need to detect issue part. In 2018 to 2022, the article keyword must be integrated. Okay, the first one for validation is experiment setup. The experiment setup for the performance investigation is shown in the picture. It has already been used to evaluate the simulation workflow for the diagnosis and treatment of OSA, airflow supply monitoring instrument, and a patient-specific airways model comprise the setup. The transitory airflow is produced with a piston pump that is regulated by a linear actuator. The second one is polysomnography. Polysomnography monitor your sleep stage in circle to identify if or when your sleep pattern are disturbed and why. There are different types of home sleep apnea test device using different combination of sensors. They generally record your breathing rate and airflow as well as oxygen level. The PSG recording were manually scored in conventional manner. 20 apnea was defined as a reduction in airflow of 90% for at least 10 seconds. Hypnoea is defined as a reduction in airflow or more than 30% for at least 10 seconds and oxygen. The saturation of more than 4%. Then a convexity. Convexity can provide a three-dimensional visualization of the patency, root canal, nervous, and the air-filled space in the jaw called the sinuses. Additionally, this technology eliminates the need for dentists to perform invasive procedure to come up the optimal diagnosis and treatment. The photo will preserve a digital image and communication medic file for the subsequent analysis. All photo were shown to observe in the dimly lit room. CBCT is the less expensive and alternative to polysonography for measuring airway for measuring. Then is stereolithography 3D printer. Stereolithography is an industry 3D printing process used to create concept, model, cosmetic prototypes, and complex parts with intricate geometry in a fast as one day. A wide selection of material, extremely high feature resolution, and quality surface finish are possible with SLA. So you can see the example from 3D printer in the gray picture. For second literature review is CFD. CFD is to analyze complex problem involving fluid, fluid solid, or fluid gas interaction. Engineering field where CFD analyze are frequently used for the example aerodynamic and hydrodynamic, where quantities such as lead and drag or field properties as pressure and velocity are obtained. The second one is help of digital computer produce quantitative prediction of fluid flow phenomena based on the conservation law as a mass, momentum, and energy governing fluid motion. So the first feature is airflow velocity and deposit particle. B. Custom process circuit. C. Regional DF and adhesive force parameter calibration. Next, in CFD also can find the pressure control during inspiration. B. Velocity magnitude and velocity vector during inspection. C is turbulence kinetic energy, and D is pressure during expiration. And this is the graph for turbulent cross multiphase structure. Possible combination of computation technique and model CFD. Okay, methodology. Start with CT image processing. Then we go to 3D modeling. After that, there are two kind way, which is we go through CFD or physical evaluation. If we go to physical evaluation, we need to make a 3D prototype model. Then we go to mold making, and then to sample casting, test rig setup, and get a result data calculation. If we go to CFD, after 3D modeling, machine quality validation, boundary condition, then CFD calculation, CFD post processing, And last, we get a grid sensitivity analysis. Then again, CFD post-processing to get a result interpretation. Okay, CT image processing. In this process, the computer topography CT can scan picture of patient in T5 with a OSA by ozonography were evaluated. For example, the body mass index BMI of the patient is 35 and AHI is 87.6 per hour. The CT scan took 20 seconds while the patient in a head first spine posture. 3D modeling. The stereolithography is used to 3D print the model stiff element and silicon casting mold. Accuracy is critical for difficult geometry like the nose cavity, where this technique excels. The influence of different pillar essential on soft palette rigidity is studied using numerical simulation and soft palette geometry. Prior studies has verified the effectiveness of this approach in assessing the upper airway strap volume and subdividing the 3D visual module of the airway surface into many anatomical and functional components after maxillary expansion. For the mesh and all subsequent remesh, the same mesh technique is utilized. Volume mesh is made out of the polyhedral cell and prismatic cell arranged into 5 levels for boundary layer resolution. An unstructured mesh topology is which each cell may has a arbitrary number for face is referred to as a polyhedral cell. The degree of flexibility the mesh as in resolving topological properties is increased as a result of the increased cell connection to neighbor. Higher quality cell may be produced with a minimal skewness and smoothie volumetric development feature that aid the process of convergence. Boundary condition. Boundary condition to find acute upper airways analysis, the placement and temperature must also be included. Using FSI, fluid structure interaction, the upper airways displacement was modest. There are graph A and B. First one is velocity cross distance from inlet. Second B, pressure cross distance from inlet. Then this CFD post processing. You can see the picture. This CFD post processing. You have two types. Okay, the last one is grid sensitive analysis. The moving further with the solver verification process, the sensitivity of the grid is evaluated using a variety of different total of elements in order to assess the sensitivity of the grid. It ensures that the grid will be capable of delivering simulation results that were consistent and convergent. During the CFD simulation, the grid sensitivity test is an essential part. Tests of grid sensitivity analysis are conducted to verify the CFD formulation substability of competence in analyzing the human upper airways. These investigations were carried out in order to establish the substability of the CFD formulation. Thank you.